time to ask ourselves the question, who are Patriot Front? Now, Carl and I covered a little bit of their shenanigans back at the beginning of December when they rocked up to Washington, D.C. to do a march from the mall through to, I think, the lake in Washington, D.C., that little river, whatever it is. I'm not American, so forgive me. But just as a reminder, all of these guys just showed up with all their flags, all wearing the same uniform, all wearing khakis, blue top, masks and caps and sunglasses to hide their identities, and they all seemed, in a lot of the videos that most people saw, to be in suspiciously good shape. Now, Carl and I, for a bunch of reactionaries and such. I mean, we've all seen the videos and pictures of the obvious feds at other rallies who are all in suspiciously good shape.
Yeah, okay. I love that that's become a metric now.
Well,
are you in good shape? Probably a fed.
Well, I am getting in better shape, so you best keep an eye on me.
Well, you did used to be on a train with MI5, so...
Oh.
Sorry, the Home Office.
Not the MI5, not the Home Office. How dare you? But no, it was one of those things where the whole image of them, everything else around them, and the fact that they seemed to sprout up out of nowhere got a bit of attention.
Sorry, just all the chats is like they're not fat like proper patriots.
So these are American patriots that we're talking about.
You know, you are right about that.
So come on.
All right, yeah, you've got me.
So come on. But yeah, we got a bit of pushback from some people when we were talking about them because they'd been on... I pointed out a number of things. They'd been on Telegram for a few years. Their leader, Thomas Rousseau, who we'll talk about in a moment, was involved previously in Vanguard America, who were part of the Unite the Right in Charlottesville. So there is quite a bit to say that, you know, maybe they are a real group. But there's the thing as well that goes with that, which is that, as we'll find out as we go through, if they are a real group, they're not very good. They're not particularly threatening, shall we say, but they do seem very optically convenient for any news organisation or counter-terrorist group to be able to say, see, haha, we do have true white supremacy in the country. But yeah, let's go through a bit of a reminder of what's going on. So this was back in December. More than 100 members of the white nationalist hate group Patriot Front marched on the National Mall on Saturday evening. The group donned a uniform of khakis, blue jackets and tan hats. Their faces were obscured by sunglasses and white masks that covered their noses and mouths. Some carried American flags, others a banner that read Reclaim America. Those on the outer flanks of the procession were equipped with shields. The group marched from the Lincoln Memorial down to the mall towards the Capitol building. Later they ended up around Arlington Memorial Bridge, according to the Daily Beast, and some apparently became temporarily stranded when they could not all fit into their rented U-Hauls. So, it seems like a pretty typical sort of march, doesn't it? But the thing that they mentioned there with the U-Hauls was one of the things that made me a little bit suspicious when it first came around. John, if you want to move along, we've got a little bit of a clip here. People managed to film them on the U-Hauls. Just play it so that we can all see it, and I'll describe it to people. So what you can see here is that there's a U-Haul pulling up at the side of the road, and there seems to be a cordoned off section of the road with lots of police there, seemingly helping them. And then as we move on, they will open up the back of the U-Haul.
Hey, you want me to just take this lane?
And all of the Unite the Right guys, well, not Unite the Right, all of the Patriot Front guys start to just pile into the back of the U-Haul without any seats or seat belts or anything like that. And the police are just absolutely fine with this. They're all just going to drive off. And that's one of the things that was a little...
Is that illegal?
Yeah, that's the thing. That's one of the things that was a bit suspicious to me when I saw this, and I was like, why would the police be assisting them? This is very obviously illegal. And you also think to yourself, well, the police in the US would have great incentives to arrest a bunch of supposed reactionary right-wingers. All you need to do is look at the way, you know, some of the January 6th people have been treated without even necessarily being charged with anything beyond trespassing, kept for months at a time in prison. But then all of a sudden another white nationalist hate group comes out and does a very obviously illegal thing, and the police just stand there.
Looking boys? No.
Yeah, nothing. In fact, we'll help them. So that's one of the things, and let's just move along again. John, if you want to go over to the next one, just to give a little update on Thomas Rousseau. This is the guy who supposedly fronts the Patriot Front. Thomas Ryan Rousseau, this is from the Southern Poverty Law Center, so, you know, not the best source, but they seem to be relatively accurate with what they've got for him. Rousseau grew up in the suburbs of Dallas, Texas, where he attended Coppell High School. While enrolled, he was involved with the Sidekick, the Coppell High School student newspaper, where he was the staff cartoonist during his senior year. He also contributed to video production and wrote a number of opinion columns for the paper. This appears to be where the young white supremacist cultivated the propaganda production skills that propelled his rapid ascension into leadership on the racist right, first with Vanguard America and later with his founding of Patriot Front. And as I've mentioned before, Vanguard America were the people at Charlottesville. I believe there is footage that you can see of him walking along with all the people with the tiki torches and that such. So Thomas Rousseau might be legit in terms of his fronting of these sorts of and involvement with these organisations. Might be. But if we move along, so what's happened that's propelled this news that we're talking about today is that they have had their chats and servers leaked online by Unicorn Riot. And before we go into what they've been leaked, I just want to make a point about Unicorn Riot. These people are a far-left media group. They have coverage of the BLM riots from from mid-2020, which they have dubbed the George Floyd Uprising.
Yeah.
Because to them, supposedly, it's a good thing.
Yeah, I remember them in the book club we did on Andy No's book, Unmasked. You can have quite a few mentions of them in there as well, if I remember correctly, in which they're just endlessly covering for anti-false terrorism.
Oh, yes. There were lots of other articles from people like the Daily Dot and other people who were quoting directly from Antifa's Twitter accounts and speaking directly with Antifa on the reporting of this, and we'll see that in a little bit later. But just to make a point that whether or not Patriot Front are a real white nationalist group, domestic terrorist group, Unicorn Riot, the people exposing them, are also supporters of domestic terrorism. So, I don't know. Kind of says it all, really, doesn't it? But just to go into what they say in here, so the detailed inner workings and operations of neo-Nazi organisation Patriot Front have come to light after a massive leak from their chat servers. The exposed communications show coordination with their leader Thomas Rousseau to deface murals and monuments to black lives across the United States, and intimate struggles to bolster morale through group activities like hiking and camping. These racist bastards going off hiking and camping with one another. Oh, how could they? But yes, they do deface murals. There's lots of footage and photographs of them where they've got like murals in towns where it's like
peace. You always miss the thing, don't you? But that's the thing. They're always like, here's the bad stuff, but also they do hiking and camping. I mean, do you remember? I can't remember who we were reading in which they were just like, yeah, you know, the neo-Nazis or the Nazis, they've got flags.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't you know flags are Nazism?
Flags are evil, don't you know?
No, we don't like the Nazis because of, like, the genocide, not because they own flags. You weirdos.
Flags are fine. They're inanimate objects,
The hiking
guys.
and the camping part, Unicorn Riot, that's fine. No one cares about the hiking. It's the terrorism and the crime that people care about.
I bet they even sit around a campfire and sing songs to one another. God, I hate them so much.
Oh, I'm a good old rare, but
no. No, but yeah, they go around, they've got murals in cities all over the place, which honestly I find quite annoying, where it's like peace, love, all this like modern anti-racist stuff, and they'll just spray over them and spray their own logos and phrases over them. You know, I'm not condoning it, but I do find those original murals quite annoying in the first place. But also, this is nothing that we couldn't see from their Telegram. If you go back and watch Carl and I's previous thing on this, you know, they've got it plastered all over their Telegram, just like spray painting everything. It's not something that they hide.
We go camping.
Yeah, that's right. And this release includes more than 400 gigabytes of data published by Unicorn Riot, ostensibly private, unedited videos and direct messages, reveal a campaign to organize acts of racial hatred while indoctrinating teenagers into National Socialism, brackets, Nazism. The information stands as a chilling reminder that fascist organizing thrives in secrecy and obscurity.
They're not very secret if they're publicly posting their crimes.
Yeah. And they're not very obscure anymore since the beginning of December, so...
Yeah, well.
Okay. Patriot Front, known for its disconcerting massed flash rallies and racist sticker campaigns, I just wanted to point that out there. Racist stickers. Ooh.
Oh, what's that going to be? It's okay to be white?
No, not even that. Everything that I've seen them put up is basically just saying "Unite America," "Reclaim America," and stuff like that.
Okay, typical propaganda.
If it's in reference to America, it's racist. These racist stickers, how dare they? Vanguard America's bloodandsoil.org domain was reconfigured to support Patriot Front's main internal communication systems, a self-hosting instance of Rocket Chat, an open-source chat server software similar to Slack and Discord messaging platforms with multiple channels. Information security in the centralized communications project failed almost entirely. Sources provided Unicorn Riot with screenshots, audio recordings, and meetings. Self-hosted on another system called Mumble, extracted text of group chats, and even the private direct message system. So they got everything, by the sounds of it. So they're not particularly good at keeping all of this secret stuff secret, by the looks of it. And it seems that they may have been infiltrated by somebody else to get a hold of all of this secret information, which makes it sound like they might be quite easy to infiltrate, shall we say. Chat messages contain dozens of links to unlock public mega.nz cloud storage directories, which hosted more than 400 gigabytes of raw videos and photos of Patriot Front events, gathering, scouting for vandalizing black monuments, capital B, and much more. Most of the materials come from the latter half of 2021, including a rally in Washington, D.C., so that's the one we were referring to. Despite Patriot Front's strict measures to avoid overt Nazism in their public rhetoric, the group's racist, anti-Semitic and misogynistic nature shines through quite clearly in their more recently leaked chats. Members frequently use slurs and brag about IRL racist harassment. According to leaked messages, Patriot Front rank and file still enjoy doing Roman salutes, despite rules saying that they shouldn't. In one direct message exchange, members nostalgically recalled throwing up Nazi salutes in front of a Patriot Front flag in full uniform at a bar in Europe while meeting up with Polish neo-Nazi skinheads. And there's some links to Discord and other messages if you scroll down possibly, and they're talking about doing stuff like blaring a song called Alabama N-Word. This is one where they're just talking about, we need to buy our khaki pants for one another. You know, that kind of level of organisation. But yeah, he blared a song called Alabama N-Word at some black guy as he drove past him. I mean, these guys are hardly... it's annoying, and I probably wouldn't be... It's just
pathetic.
It wouldn't be nice, but yeah, it's the most pathetic and worst kind of, domesticated action. Like, they're even covering up there a "Don't Tread on Me" thing, which you would say is like...
With fascist symbols.
Yes, with potentially fascist symbols.
They are. They're the fasci.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
The bundle of sticks.
Yeah, they just seem pretty rubbish, to be perfectly honest. They don't seem like any great threat. It seems like a bunch of larpers.
Well, they look like low-level Antifa, back when they first started out, let's say, in the West, blowing up. Doing stupid graffiti, being a massive pain to people, and generally just being obnoxious. And just the cringe there as well. Like we all cringed at like early Antifa members being like, "I'm a communist." And I was like,
yeah. Now they're like, "I'm a Nazi.
I'm a patriot for German supremacy."
Yes. Let's be honest. If they're calling themselves patriot while throwing up the German Nazi salute, they don't know what patriotism to America actually means.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. If we move along as well, I've just included some links to some of the stuff that you can get. So this is the index of the Patriot Front leak. So anyone who wants to check it all out, it's all there. You can go through all of it, although I'm going to go over some funny stuff that I found. So yeah, they've got the documentation of all the members and their names, screenshots of Discord and other chat logs, videos of them putting up banners, because it's always a great idea to film yourself vandalizing public property. That could never blow back on you. Videos of them training, which we've got a few of, which basically just means meeting up in a park and failing to exercise with one another.
Is it like Afghan National Army levels of star jumps?
Okay. Yes, actually that. It all seems very weirdly naive and innocent. They also have documents describing their getaway plans in ice cream trucks, which I assume is the U-Haul sort of stuff that we saw earlier on. There's lots of also defacing anti-racist murals in cities, and just everything that you can think of, but we'll go through some of the good stuff. But this is the main thing that got released that has been making people go, see, real Nazis, guys, actual Nazis, when this leaked footage of one of their Manifesto readings was released. And let's just take a look at this footage.
Life, liberty, victory.
Life, liberty, victory!
Check it out.
Damn, son, that might be a cut.
That's a good take right there.
Sieg fucking high. Let's fucking go. I can say that now that it's over.
I want to have my finger like that.
Yes. So
It's just so cringe.
it is
I'm
very,
sorry, but
it's ridiculously cringe.
just like you've got the fascist symbols on your flags as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are you doing?
But yeah, this is one of the things that's been making people go, they kind of glow to me, just a little bit, just because of how convenient it is that of all of the video footage, because I looked over a lot of the video footage, nowhere else on the video footage, obviously in the leaked chats, there's, racist stuff in there, but in all the video footage, there's nothing else like this. It's only this one video where they're reading out their manifesto, where just at the end of this, he just happens to go, oh, by the way, Sieg Heil, guys.
Yeah.
I
can see the chat going, why are you gay? In response to that.
Yeah. It's very suspicious, and it's also the fact that he just throws out as well, I can do that now that it's over. It seems very staged. The way he says it is all very unnatural, so it's a bit suspicious. So it's either that this guy's an absolute goober, or he's a terribly acting Fed. But that's just one of the things that I would throw out there. There have been people mocking this guy, like the Libertarian Party responded to this leak with this, where select all the squares with Feds. You're going to have to select all of them. And then I also found the full manifesto reading, just for a bit of context here. Oh yeah, there was also this one from...
Sign up at FBIjobs.org.
But let's just take a look at the rest, some of the rest of that video where they're reading out the manifesto, so we can get a little bit context for that.
Americans are on the threshold of becoming a conquered people. No foreign state waved its banner on the halls of governance, yet it was our flag which grew foreign as the years passed. A new tyranny must be met with new resistance. America needs a generation of brave men to fearlessly rise to face all threats to their collective interests. A generation steeled in their effort to realize their grand vision of a new nation. This gathering of the faithful, the true inheritors of America, will urge our people onward. To form a new and just state, we must first instill a reformed national spirit within our people, a people free from the vices of the modern world, and a people with a fervor to see themselves free. The cohesion and unity of our people will be the most powerful weapon to be used in our tireless struggle for the nation and its timeless cause. Every soul who embodies this struggle will be an indispensable component of our unified effort for national sovereignty and collective liberty.
Life, liberty, victory.
Life, liberty, victory!
It's been shared on Twitter.
Want to check it out?
Damn,
That's a
son,
good
that
take.
might be a cut.
That's a good take right there.
Sieg fucking Heil. Let's fucking go. I can say that now that it's over.
I want to have my finger up.
Things cringe. I mean, for number one, who whacked up the white filter on that footage? Just one thing.
I don't know.
But then also, just there's something in there that I really just find. Again, I feel like we're using the word a lot, but cringe, especially in fascist rhetoric, was like, we've been conquered by a foreign force, but there's no foreign flag, so let us fly this foreign flag of German supremacy and Italian ideals. And I was like,
But it's the fact the whole thing seems so low energy.
Yeah.
To me, he didn't seem to be putting any real effort in. Not the sort of like
Neo-Nazis are usually much more high energy.
Yeah, they tend to have a lot more sort of like almost religious fervor in them for the way that they put across their rhetoric. And that guy's just like, conquered nation, yeah. And then at the end, the guy's just sort of like, oh, that was a really great take, guys. By the way, I'm a Nazi, just in case you didn't know. It felt...
Let's put that out on Twitter.
Yeah, no, that was released in the footage, and once again, that's just that little bit at the end seems like the focal point of the video where all of the energy went into.
Yeah.
The rest of it seems a bit tacked on just to make it look real.
That's a good point.
If you get me. But that's just a theory. But if we move on, we can see
A Thash theory.
exactly. Yeah. So here we can see they've got their general conduct that was released as well, which had some amusing parts in it, such as no swearing or vulgar expressions. Actions which violate the moral and upright convictions of the organization are prohibited. Any forms of physical contact, gestures, or vocalizations that may be suggestive or otherwise morally degrading should be absent in both online communications and in person. Violation will result in revocation of privileges or suspension. So it seems like they don't really hold themselves to those standards if in a manifesto reading there's just like, by the way, here's the Nazi salute.
Yeah, also he said F in there.
Yeah, exactly. So
Don't swear.
so no swearing, guys, or you'll get told off. So we can go along here as well. They've got this document on how they should document their activism by videotaping it and photographing it. Always a great idea to video your own criminal activities. Brilliant idea. There's no way that could backfire on you. And
to Antifa's credit, at least they're not that stupid.
yeah, I know, right?
Like reading Unmasked by Andy No, they don't openly just say, "Yeah, film your own stuff and put it up."
Yeah,
on
make
social
sure
media.
to get plenty of photographs for our social media guys.
No.
And if we move along again, we can see here they keep Excel documents, spreadsheets about their weight loss for some reason of all their members. Presumably this is why they all seem to be in better shape than you would expect of
Okay,
these sorts of
everything else I
people.
could disavow. This, I'm not so sure.
No, this isn't the best idea. I just like some of the little comments here.
Community fat shaming, huh?
Yeah, Gabriel has no scale. Told him to get one. Some cardio. What are you doing, Gabriel? Some people just aren't responding. One guy, Hugh, lost 12 pounds. Good on you, Hugh. That's not bad. But yeah, so this is presumably why they seem to be in better shape. If you were to take this as being,
They're doing weekly check-ins.
Yeah, I don't know what true or false refers to in this either, but maybe just true.
They were there or not, I suppose.
Yeah, they were there or not. And let's take a look at some of the clips of them working out that have also been released as part of this. If you want to play this, John.
Wait, I need to get
Watch
you
your
on my shoulders.
Yeah, watch your feet. Don't come here.
On your knees first.
Butt down.
So it'll be on your shoulders, not on
So
your back.
for anybody
know
not
if I
watching,
can get him
just
with one
listening,
leg.
this is one of the men trying and failing quite embarrassingly to do a
Hold on.
fireman
Hey,
carry
hey,
of one of his compatriots right there. So that's how they're all getting in shape. Just meet up in a public park where all the kids can point and laugh at you. And there's also some other amusing clips of them trying to do like group push-ups where they've all got... Oh yeah, that's a good point. John's got a good point. They can't be feds. They've all failed their physical. Damn.
Yep, he's got you there.
Real fash confirmed. But yeah, just the last part here is that there's been more leaks from them since the initial video came out on Twitter, and here's an article from the Daily Dot where they're talking about it, and when they just basically say, if you scroll down, you can see where they've got contacts with Antifa, Atlanta Antifa specifically, where they've been speaking and like released some footage from them and released all this stuff.
Who's got contact with them?
Daily Dot
Right, okay.
with Antifa. Yeah, not that surprising, let's be honest.
Again, we're doing a report on these extremists. Who should we ask? The far left extremists. Right, that's a game to play, isn't it?
Genius idea, yes. But yeah, there's loads of released footage, and it seems like brought to you by the anti-fascists in your chat. So I don't know if it's certain, but that makes it sound like Antifa might have people who have infiltrated them, which makes it seem I mean, we've all seen the Andy No Antifa lineup pictures. If those guys can infiltrate your organization, how easy would it be for the feds to get into your organization?
So here's a question though, because I know there's a lot of argument, and I think it was Sitch yesterday on Twitter being like,
It's my gut feeling.
Everyone is saying that they're feds. Where's the hard evidence? It's just your feels. And okay, sure. why
Yeah,
not?
that's a fair point.
But one of the things I found interesting, and I'm glad I brought this actually. So the Active Measures book club, which we'll be doing soon, there's a section in there in which continuously, because it's focusing on the Soviet side of the Cold War, in which the KGB just play both sides. As in, they will set up front organizations for both groups or infiltrate both groups in any given circumstance. And the funniest one being that they started making fake KKK leaflets and also made fake African Brotherhood leaflets. And so they would send like these KKK leaflets that they made to like loads of African nations being like, we will hang you, N-words, all this, blah, blah, blah. And then they will send out African Brotherhood unity leaflets to those nations being like, oh no, we're the African Brotherhood and we stand with you. And it's just like, okay, so the idea that the FBI hasn't learned that tactic too, and probably doesn't have people everywhere.
And they know exactly what they're doing.
I can't imagine it would be too
And,
hard for them. I mean, they're always looking for terrorist plots or inventing them because they feel
or
like it.
funding them.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to mention that we mentioned Four Lions earlier. Who's the guy who did that? Because
oh crap, it's going to escape me now.
I've forgotten his name, but you actually played a clip a while back where you were talking about an interview that he did with Channel 4 where he was saying that he was doing some research on the FBI and found that they would just tend to find like one nut job.
Chris Morris, though.
Chris Morris, that's his name. He would find one nut job, the FBI would, and then just be like, oh, wouldn't it be great if you were to, like, bomb the Capitol building or something like that? Here's a bunch of money to do that, just so that they can have someone to arrest 3 months down the line and say, look, we're doing our jobs.
This was an interview with Channel 4, and he mentions that the worst example of this, there were some guys who they met, the FBI met, And they were clearly, they needed money, they were down and out of their luck. So the FBI just ginned them up to be like, oh, come up with some terrorist ideas, you know? Also, I've got a lot of money and I'll give you some if you come up with some ideas. So they came up with this stupid idea, which was like, oh yeah, we'll get like 4 guys on horseback right into Dallas. And then, you know, question mark,
Cavalry's coming. Profit.
We own Dallas.
Yes.
Like, that was the level of the plan. It made no sense. And the FBI were like, yeah, we'll give you $100,000 for that. And he was like, yeah, sure, give me the money. And then, well, they did him for plotting terrorism. It was like,
Yeah.
he's clearly just
Job well done.
like, they're clearly not going to take over Dallas with 4 horses and a rifle.
No.
They're trying to scam money out of you.
But FBI need funding from daddy government.
So they do this kind of stuff.
Yeah, so it's not anywhere near outside the realm of possibility. I understand there is some contention, there are questions, but my concluding point with these guys has always been and seems to be, if they are feds, they're not doing a very good job of making it subtle, and if they aren't feds, these guys suck.
If you enjoyed that segment from the podcast, The Lotus Eaters, you can go to lotuseaters.com to subscribe to get access to all the premium content on the site, such as the Epoch series, which Carl and Bo did together, this one on Romulus, and apparently what a scumbag he was. So go and check that out. If you'd like to keep up with what else is coming on the website, you can always follow us on Getter. For example, you can follow Carl at @CarlBenjamin on Getter. Thank you and goodbye.